We are straight away jumping into the next session, DISCOM Collaboration Platform. For Economic Procurement, session partner is KSEBL. This session is going to be chaired and moderated by Mr. Rajan N. Kubragare, Additional Chief Secretary and CMD KSEBL. Sir, I request you to come onto the stage. Please give him a big round of applause. Our speakers of the session, Mr. Rajesh Lakhoni, Additional Chief Secretary and Chairman, TANGEDCO. I hope I'm saying that right.
He's not there.
He's not here? Moving on to the next speaker, Mr. P.K. Singh, CEO, GEM. He's on video.
He's already online.
He's already online. Welcome, sir. Mr. V.K. Srivastav, member UPERC.
Yeah. He's not there. He's not there.
Mr. Rajesh Sharma, member RERC. Mr. H.C. Sarma, Chief Technical Services, Tata Power DDL. Tripta Thakur, Director General, NPTI. Please give her a big round of applause. So, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Post-lunch, it is a second session, and I can see, in fact, there will be, regarding the subject also, there will be little bit of, it is other than the technical subject, so a question. Why one should be, looking at procurement as a theme in such a technically, technical sessions, what we have been hearing since morning. At the outset, let me thank all the panelists who have come here, and our colleague, Prashant Kumar Singh, who is the CEO of a GEM platform. He is joined here online. He was to come here, but for some emergency, in fact, he could not make it. So we are thankful to all the participants. The plan of the session is like this. I'll tell the context to all the participants briefly. Then I will request each participant take 5 minutes to 7 minutes to discuss the subject, what we have given it to them. And later on, in fact, we will have some key questions which are emerging out of our discussion. And if there are any questions, we will, take those questions from the audience to structure this. My request to my dear friend Prashant, who is a gem of an officer and a gem of a person, and also the CEO of GEM, that our participant, Tripta, she has a flight to catch. So I'll first request Tripta that she can speak first, and then later on we will go to the other speaker. So over to you, Tripta, and then we will go to the next participant.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm glad, and thanks ISGF for giving this opportunity. Can you please upload my presentation, please? Yeah. So DISCOM is always very close to my heart. I did my PhD from IIT Delhi and University of Dundee in the distribution sector, and I did the performance evaluation of the DISCOM at that time when Electricity Act 2003 just came. So I know how important this sector is. And if you see the growth of India, we are doing very well. We are number 1 as far as population is concerned. We are number 3rd in the world for installed capacity, both in renewable as well as conventional, with 420 gigawatt capacity. And we all understand that it is so important for everyone to have electricity. So government has achieved the electricity to all, but next aim is to achieve electricity or power to all for 24/7. Because we all know that whatever scheme government of India is having to improve the poverty, to improve the GDP of our country, we need power. When we talk about smart cities, smart grid, or digital India, or any Swachhata Abhiyan, anything, everything is related to power to all 24/7. But if you see the per capita consumption of our country, we are really having a less, 1/3 of the world average per capita consumption we are having. But we all know that when we do the progress, this per capita consumption is one of the index for the development of any nation. So we are really, world is in the path of energy transition. So our country is also in the path of energy transition. We are exploring everything from carbon capture to the blue and green hydrogen to methanol and ethanol, or small modular reactor as mentioned by one of the speaker, and e-mobility or renewable energy and storage. So with 420 gigawatt capacity, we are aiming to have 800 gigawatt by 2023. So this is our aim. And now distribution sector, which is very important in the value chain, because money flows back to the system through distribution only. And the problem of Indian distribution sector, this is not financially viable. I'm standing in a state which has lot of good things, AT&C losses less than 10%, but all other utility need to work very hard and make them inefficient and economically viable. Government of India, Ministry of Power has come up with a very ambitious scheme, reform-based distribution scheme, RDSS, where they are imparting money for infrastructure improvement to the distribution sector, and also imparting money for providing training and capacity building. NPTI is one of the nodal agency for providing training and capacity building to the DISCOM under this RDSS scheme. Common equipment specification, this is the key factor where actually when we are going for energy transition, this is also going to help a lot. Standardization is most important and in point of view of operational performance. And this will also help to avoid unpleasant surprises. And standardization also can act as a control mechanism to help DISCOM to comply with the rules, regulation, and the requirement. So it's very, very important topic which this panel is going to discuss. So I will not cover in detail because within the 5 minutes it's not possible. So when we are talking about this standardization, what are the key benefit we are going to get it? So there is an immense potential for cost saving if the equipment is manufactured with standards. So this will allow all the manufacturing company, EMA is also working hard with, have a lot of interaction with various manufacturing unit, and in this way we can actually take care of the various diversity which is existing. So standardization is going to help us for streamlining the production time, as well as we will reduce the cost also in future. So there is a lot of possibility for scaling up and increase the expansion of the present grid in terms of future grid. For the infrastructure sector, there also the specification which are standardized are going to help us a lot. And this standardization will really going to help the DISCOM. So they will allow to purchase equipment from any manufacturer if it is standard. So there is a lot of advantage and benefit associated with the proper standardization. And also when we are moving toward digitalization, when we are moving towards Industry 4.0, interoperability is also going to play a major role, especially when we are having under this RDSS scheme, the rollout plan of smart meters in future. So we really need to adopt this standardization. And also when we are publishing equipment cost, we are really going for a transparent mechanism. So the cost of the equipment, if it is standardized, if it is published, then everyone will be having a chance to see, and we can produce a healthy competition among the manufacturers. Also now it's also very important, because this has been discussed in the last 2 sessions also, that cyber security is also going to play a major role. Especially when we are procuring the smart meter, we are giving the lead. So cyber secure AMI system is very, very important in future. So when we are publishing the cost of equipment, this will really going to help to create the healthy environment into the system. So there are a lot of advantages, especially with the DISCOM, so that DISCOM will not only take the decision, which are informed decision while procuring the equipment, they will follow the SBD guidelines, and this practice will really help DISCOM for the huge saving in terms of money. And especially when we are going for the audit also, this will help us for the audit also. When we are going for standardization, then specification, and then it is also very important for everyone for going for the testing norms for the standardization. This is also very, very challenging, especially when we are coming up with a smart meter. So the testing is going to become very, very important, and this is a written actually direction is needed in this direction, so that testing or procedure will be discussed in detail so that everyone can get the benefit out of it. So especially when we are talking about the standard metered IT/OT platform, this infrastructure actually is going to be used in smart meters, SCADA and all, and cyber audit and security is also very, very important. So testing from that aspect is also going to play a major role. Madam. So yes, I will just escape all this because of the time constraint, but definitely with this three pillar of electrification, decentralization and digitalization, and with this three energy trilemma, energy security, energy sustainability and energy affordability, India has a lot of potential, and this commitment has done by our Honorable Prime Minister in COP26 also. Lifestyle for life is also one mission which is taken up. And this picture I really like. Whenever I go, I show this picture. This will empower my women who are working to encourage them for the clean cooking. And this small solar system can help villages to get the education. I will end my speech by showing you the Google image of the world, Earth at night, and you can proudly see that in India, we are able to provide electricity to all. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, when we are talking about procurement, in fact, the question comes to any chairman or managing director of a company that how one will be going for the generating more profit or how we will increase our revenue. For a DISCOM, in fact, there are two avenues always open. One is, in fact, tariff, so we look for the tariff. But at the same time, the challenge is that we have to be very cost effective. So when we have to be cost effective, what are the other non-tariff avenues open for a DISCOM to look at? So one of the area which comes to my mind is a procurement. So whether we can enhance the procurement efficiency, the way we do procurement now, whether it is to the fullest optimal level or we can bring in some kind of a efficiencies level by doing efficient procurement plus by doing a very, very robust supply chain management, so that only the things which are required, which are getting procured and used in time, and also we can gradually go ahead with the aggregation model. In other sector like health sector, they have done this. In fact, the grid, this word we have given from the electricity to other sector. So in health sector, they have applied this in a cancer care. There is a cancer care grid, and all the linear accelerator, etc., our TMH, all the people who are member of that grid, in fact, they get at a very cost-effective prices, crores of rupees worth equipment, which are a very standard equipment. I asked my colleagues, in fact, what is the highest cost of the equipment other than the generator? In fact, it will not be in the multiple crores, like in medical equipment industry. But there is a huge opportunity for us that we can do aggregation, and therefore, in this panel, in fact, we were looking forward to Tangenco CMD and other CMDs, so that out of their experience also we'll get. We are having other panelists, they will bring that experience. And at a national level, there is no better person than PK Singh, who had done a tremendous work in JAM, who has created a wonderful marketplace where not only for one sector, for any sector who would like to do e-procurement, in fact, that can be done today. So now I will request Shri PK Singh to give his thoughts that what can be done in the power sector in particular in procurement area, so that we can aspire to have a very efficient procurement system in our country. Over to you, Prashant.
Thank you, Rajan. Am I audible
Yes, you are.
and visible?
Yes.
Okay, so first and foremost, apologies for not being there today, because after confirming, I had booked my tickets and everything, and I was looking forward to the visit to God's own country. But then something happened, and I was required to stay here in Delhi. So apologies for that. Distinguished chair, distinguished panelists, ladies and gentlemen. I was just looking at the discussion points, which have been very aptly classified into 4 buckets. One is the common equipment specs, one is publishing equipment costs, standardized testing norms, and sharing equipment performance. Now, all these 4 are, I would say, without any doubt, they can be squarely met if the transaction is done on our portal, that is GEM. There is standardization which is addressed here. There is concomitant savings which are there. Shared insights can always be there because every information is available at one place. We can even share the performance data. I mean, we can make it more user-friendly for our stakeholders. Benchmarking is possible. There can be uniform norms for testing, for every kind of thing. And the best thing is we will make the procurement possible based on the required needs of the stakeholders. That is the bias. Just to give you a small introduction about GEM, we are 7 years old. And in the last 3 years, we have grown almost tenfold, from 35,000 crore to almost 3,50,000 crore. That is going to be possible this year. Specifically in the power sector, we have created since the last 1.5 years, almost 300 plus categories of electrical distribution and transmission equipment. And a fair amount of business has been done, about 3,500 crore. These categories were created after a very careful consultation with the buyers, the sellers, different stakeholders, and there's always a scope for a continuous improvement. Whenever there's a change in the market, there's a change in the equipment, there's a change in any kind of spec required, we can do that immediately. It has resulted in standardization for sure. The vendor base is now large. In fact, this is one point which I think you should highlight in the conference, that everybody works in silos. They have their own vendors, they have their own suppliers. Whether or not they discover the best rates is a question to be asked to everyone. And the moment you bring every vendor on a pan-India basis, the price discovery is better, the efficiency is always built in. Just as a case in point, there was this procurement of smart meters by the Ministry of Power through the Power Central CPSEs, Power Grid, REC and PFC Consulting. Initially, it was thought that it can't be done in GEM. But then when we engaged with them, the tenders went through. We have already completed almost 9,200 crore of smart meters, and another 2,500 crore is in the pipeline. So it's possible to do even complex equipment on the portal. Just to give you the features, I mean, I think that is known to most of you because in some form or other people have come onto our portal. So every form of procurement is available. We are GFR compliant. Once you do the procurement on our portal, not only are the advantages available to you, you are also very transparent. You are not answerable to any of these agencies who look at the procurement data very often, because it's all transparent, it's all in public domain. We have done some analysis also. We engaged Ernst & Young to find out as to what is the exact benefit that comes through GEM. And when we went through the per unit cost that normally the DISCOMs buy from the e-procurement portal, vis-a-vis what is there on GEM and the average of the tenders, the prices that has been fructified on GEM, you'll be surprised to hear that we almost found that there's a saving component of 27 to 37% straight away, and on the things on which we are transacting. So look at the amount of cost savings which comes. None of the tenders which have, they always go through. The cancellation rate is very low on our portal compared to e-procurement portal which is used by other states. So there are definite advantages about costs and all. There are several big bids. Now people are coming in more and more on the portal. Andhra Pradesh South Distribution Company, Andhra Pradesh East Distribution Company, Chhattisgarh State Distribution Company. They've all got big bids, 34 crore, 116 crore, 134 crore. I just want to end by saying that not only is goods procurement very simple and very effective and efficient, you can also look at all your service requirements. Today when we speak, I can say with a lot of confidence that any kind of service that is required by a government department, be it a state government, central CPSE or a state CPSE or an autonomous body, it is all available in GEM. Maybe some very niche service like offshore drilling by ONGC may not be available, but even that we can explore and we can upload it very fast. So in case of any specific service requirement, please approach us. We can always upload that. Otherwise, I can assure you, everybody here, that whatever services are available, they cover almost all your needs. So please look at the portal for a better, transparent, efficient and effective procurement. Thanks, Rajan. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Prashant. But I have one or two questions to you. One is, the DISCOM at their level, there is a very huge technical capacity, among the human resource. Some of the DISCOMs, they are at a different level, so they take a futuristic approach to have a little bit of high-end specifications, etc. So in a GEM portal, if anybody would like to customize the specs, whether that flexibility is built in now and whether that is a possibility. Second, you may be also having the team of experts who would have also guided. So if there is some kind of a dialogue of your technical expert teams in those domain area along with the DISCOMs, if that can be arranged, then I think a good partnership can be built up. So whether these are the possibilities which you can work on so that, our DISCOMs or other colleagues all over the country, in fact, we will be benefited.
Excellent. On the second point, most certainly, 200% we can do that. And as soon as possible, we must do that. On the first issue, yes, you see, we don't freeze anything that only these specs have to be met. There are certain golden parameters. There are about, say, 10 odd specifications. But we also leave it to the buyer department to add more specific specifications as well. In addition, there's also a feature of a custom bid. You can customize your bid totally. I mean, without any need for any spec from GEM. If there's a very specialized requirement, if that is not available in GEM. But then, yes, we do provide for at least 5 additional parameters. You can ask for more if you want to add to the already existing normal golden parameters for any specification that we have for a product.
Okay, wonderful. So we will be definitely tapping all the resources what you are building, and I think all of us, at the field level will be benefited. Now, yeah, please. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. This is H.C. Sharma. I'm from Tata Power Delhi Distribution. My question because it is wonderful to have such a saving of 27 to 37%, which is a sizable in number. What do you think that which is adding to this type of saving at your portal?
Usually, first and foremost, it is the number of participants, number of bidders. In fact, we got a study done by World Bank in 2020, which even quantified that every additional participant leads to a saving increase of 0.5%. So, I mean, we have bids where 10, 15 people participate. There is hardly any chance of any kind of collusion. The price discovery is very good. Plus, we have a feature of reverse auction that even after, you arrive at the L1 price, we give chance to the top 50% or maybe 5 people to compete again in another round. And that is where we see a huge amount of fall happening and almost close to 10-15% drops even after discovery of L1 in the reverse auction process.
Okay, sir. Thank you. We also carry out reverse
I have
auction.
a request to you as well. I mean, in fact, all these private DISCOMs also, if we can have some data, we can do some benchmarking because, benchmarking amongst public sector may also not be a very good idea.
We'll definitely
we are doing, evolving that feature, we'll be approaching you separately in case we have good traction from DISCOMs.
Prashant, a colleague from UP, Mr. Goel, he will be asking question.
Good afternoon, sir. This is Ashish Goel, your junior from IIT Delhi.
Oh, yeah.
Sir, there are 2 points I would like to suggest. One is the flexibility of payment. Can it be built for the DISCOM electricity sector on GEM? Because currently the conditions of having budget beforehand while issuing the tender, So there needs to be some flexibility as far as the budget is concerned, because it's a huge budget and sometimes budget may not be available beforehand, and also payment terms may need to be more flexible. And the other suggestion is that in state transport sector, there is an association called Association of State Road Transport Undertakings. So what ASRTU does is they invite manufacturers of equipment and they empanel them and they give suggested rates. So state utilities are free to buy at either those rates or have limited tender between those accredited manufacturers. So can we have an association of DISCOMs? And here, since we have a GEM portal, so this association can then coordinate with the GEM portal and come up with the standards and specifications and then do the bidding on GEM portal. And you have the input of all the DISCOMs in deriving these standards. We can enroll EDTA and other CPRI or other CEA, etc. So that will create a unified electrical appliance market in the country.
Okay, thank you, Ashish. On your first point regarding payment, you see, payment, we have always maintained that the earlier the payment is done, the better rates you get. The more you postpone, the seller factors that delay into his price, number one. But you have a point there and we have a solution as well. We are going to have a very robust integration with the trades now. And that bill discounting part can take care of some of these issues, because this will be mainly utilized by PSUs and perhaps DISCOMs, where the payment cycle can be, the payment can be done by one of the lending agencies, and then with some kind of an interest rate acceptable to both sides, it can be made to work. Otherwise, for smaller people, we have a system of Sahay, wherein we give a collateral-free loan based purely on a GEM order, but that's a different thing. I think that will not work for DISCOMs. On the second point, principally, we are against any kind of arrangement for like a rate contract or a limited tendering. But then yes, there are cases where repeated tendering also has an effort and a cost to it. So there we are developing the feature of rate contract. Unfortunately, that is delayed because I am having a changeover of my service provider, but that is definitely in the pipeline. Limited tendering is open to certain people currently also. There's a debate going on whether we should open it for all or not. We'll do some kind of a back-end analysis and then maybe open it for others as well. In case of a specific requirement from DISCOMs, we can have a look at that, depending on what kind of participation we are expecting.
Yeah, thank you, Prashant. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Because the second suggestion is for all of us also here to, form a collaborative platform and then make use of your technological platform. So, we will have a continued engagement with you. Prashant, my sincere request is you be around, because there will be some new question popping up in our minds, including, I am also jotting down certain points. So if time permits, in fact, you please be there. And, I'll go to our next speaker and I will request Mr. V.K. Srivastava to say his few critical point in terms of procurement.
So we'll take 10 seconds to give a memento to Madam Chini to leave for airport.
Yeah, so you please. Yeah. So, thank you, Tripta Madam. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So, over to you, Mr. Srivastava.
Thank you very much, sir. And good afternoon to everyone. Basically, I am not a technical person. I belong to a legal fraternity. But with my experience in working with UPERC, I tried my best to give some suggestions regarding this topic. Efficient procurement practices are integral to the economic stability of the distribution companies, as these enhance their procurement strategies and reduce operational cost. This can be done through common equipment specification, publishing equipment cost, standardized testing norms, and sharing equipment performance. These are the different ways in which these contribute towards enhanced performance of DISCOMs. The common equipment specification can play a critical role in contributing to the economic procurement for electricity distribution companies by streamlining the procurement process and provide several economic benefits such as standardized technical specification, elimination of variability to equipment procurement, reducing risk of compatibility issues, increased competition, monetary management, simplifying the procurement process, and improved maintenance and repairs. Common equipment specification simply for the procurement process by providing clear guideline on the type and quality of equipment required. This reduces the time and effort spent an evolutionary bid, conducting extension technical evaluation, and maintaining multiple specifications, resulting in the cost of saving in the term of administrative and staff resources. Electricity distribution companies can maintain lower inventory level while ensuring that they have the necessary equipment readily available when they need standardized maintenance and repair procedure led to the reduction in the need for custom solution. This can be result in the cost saving by enabling some different maintenance and repairs as well as ensuring that personnel are trained as consistent manner. Sharing equipment performance can contribute to the economic procurement by electricity distribution companies in various ways, including informed decision making, cost efficiency, risk mitigation, reduced maintenance cost, and optimization of life cycle management. The knowledge help companies plan for replacement and upgrades in a cost-effective manner, minimizing the unexpected and costly equipment failure by underlying the performance history of different produced. Companies can avoid equipments prone to the frequent breakdown, which can lead to the significant financial losses. This can significantly contribute to the economic procurement by electricity distribution companies from the point of view of the transparency and completion, cost, benchmarking, and specification organization. All these level to reduce the cost for the utilities. Depending upon the existing arrangements and other operational aspects, as well as the outlook of the distribution companies, appropriate the measure can be taken. Thank you.
Thank you, Shrivastava. What I feel is, in fact, there is another one aspect which he himself said that he is from the legal background. In the procurement also, there are a lot of legal issues pop up once during the process of procurement also or after the procurement, and they become very tedious if we have not done our homework properly, because it all starts from your bidding document finalization and what all things you are writing. For an example, in fact, if we write a guideline in the bidding document, then the guidelines are guidelines. Whether our provider will interpret it as a mandatory thing or it is just merely guideline. And then what happens is the meaning of that guideline is different from the provider side, and the meaning of guideline from the client side, that is our DISCOM or our unit who is doing a procurement, is different. And your crores of rupees stuff, is going to and fro. Even though, there are absolutely no issues related to such matter. Now, the way I look at things is, in fact, even if I have to procure a smallest thing, and if I am losing time and the resources, unnecessarily, then, it eventually snowball into such a huge thing that, it generates losses. And we fail to quantify the amount of time and the energies what we spend into each one of these activity. And therefore, we just look at apparently on the cover, this is what it is. But there are a lot of other, costs. For if I say, for in a lighter vein, if I am waiting in the office late night, I am unnecessarily putting my lights on because I have to see what is the meaning of the guideline. In fact, what did I do in the bidding process? What is the interpretation from their side and all. So therefore, the legal scrutiny of all our procurement processes is utmost importance, and we have to have a huge clarity while at the first point itself, so that we don't land up in such kind of issues. And unnecessarily, I think our DISCOMs, we earn a very, negative image for no reason. Now, some of these things, in fact, out of experience, I am telling, but these are the fact of the matter. And therefore, what it is felt when we had a discussion that why we should have this theme, what we felt is SRPC, the Southern Regional Power Committee, is one of the very active power committee. There we are planning. In fact, we discuss, we interact, and we have developed some of the collaborative efforts so that our understanding goes up. In such a national forum, in fact, we would appreciate, in fact, those who are attending. Directly dealing with the procurement, the number is very less now in the second session post-lunch compared to the first session, and logically, because they are expert in their respective field. But take back this message, and each of the DISCOMs and plus players, stakeholders, in fact, we should have some collaborative effort focusing at this procurement area. That is what is our effort is. And hopefully, in fact, with ISGF, backstopping and supporting, we will be strengthening it. Now, I go to the next speaker, Mr. Rajesh Sharma, and I'll request Mr. Rajesh to, tell us few things related to procurement, which will be of help to those who are present here to build up the systems in their respective organizations.
Good evening. First of all, I am thankful to ISGF and Mr. President, Mr. Pillai, who gave me the opportunity to be here with the August audience. As far as the topic is concerned, it's very important, and this is the need of the hour, because an efficient procurement practices are one of the essential preconditions for good financial health of the DISCOMs. And centralized collaborative platform for procurement may be a towards efficient procurement practice. As far as said by my previous speakers, the resultant of this not systematic procurement results in the over-procurement, high inventory levels, bulk time supplies, lack of scrap management, lack of storage facilities results in so many complications. So my suggestion is that in view of the to improve the financial health of the DISCOMs, and this is the utmost important and need of the hour, we have to focus on the inventory control and management using IT tools. Introduction of ERPs, enterprise resource and planning, centralized procurement system, and use of artificial intelligence in the procurement. As we are aware that, and it is applicable to all the sectors, only those can see and cure the invisibles can do the impossibles. So we have to identify and see and cure the invisible regions which are responsible for the losses of the DISCOMs. As far as today's topic is concerned, the common equipment specification, this is very important, and it should be, in my opinion, because it will give so many favorable results. Few points I want to enumerate. Interoperability will be there. Reliability and safety will be there. This will be cost efficient. Ease of maintenance and repairs will be there. Energy efficiency will be there. And scalability will be there. And there will be a good regulatory compliances also. And there will be a good scope of international integration. And innovation and research scope is always there. So as far as second point is concerned, the publishing equipment cost. This is also very important because transparency, as Sir said just now from the GEM side, the transparency in publishing equipment costs in power sector in India is essential for accountability, efficiency, and fair competition. It helps ensure the sector operate effectively and attracts the investment. And this will result and provide benchmarking and the informed decision. As far as the third point is concerned, that the standardized testing norms, this is also very important because uniform norms provide the standardized framework for testing equipments and system. This ensures that quality and performance of power sector equipment and installation meet minimum acceptable standards, leading to increased reliability and safety in the power generation and distribution. Safety is another measure, and the consumer protection, which is very important. It will prevent the substandard and unsafe products from entering in the market. And as far as the fourth point is concerned, sir, sharing of equipment performance, this is a very important also point. This will improve the reliability, optimize the maintenance, energy efficiency will be there, data-driven decision and making is there, and grid resilience will be there, consumer satisfaction will be there. This will reduce the downtime for the repairs and maintenance. Innovation and research, there will be a scope there. As far as regulators, since I am from the regulator side, so as regulators, we are more concerned about the supply and reliable power at the lowest cost, that is the optimized cost to consumers. At the same time, DISCOM should adhere to the standards of the performance set by the commissions and provide best services to the consumers. While approving the ARR, aggregate revenue requirement, and tariff decisions of the DISCOMs, we also need to approve the CAPEX of the investment plan for the DISCOM as well as operation and management cost. For prudence check of CAPEX, we need data of the equipments across various states, but that is not available as standardized form. So standardized common specifications are made and data is published, then this will useful for all the SERCs for the benchmarking of the capital cost. Similarly, with the standard specification, the spares will be available easily and readily available. They will reduce the downtime equipments, leading to increased consumers' satisfaction. And
1 minute.
Sir, just completing, sir. As far as suggestions are concerned, sir, we are of the view, sir, regional committee at the national level should be there to finalize the specifications, number one. Number two, there should be a model bidding document like our power purchase documents. So for the equipments also. And eligibility criteria for bidders may be fixed. And GEM can be engaged for this materializing the high value procurements.
Absolutely.
So then the smart meter and at national level and the LED lights is the success story in the Ujala also, sir. As far as the sharing of equipment performance is concerned, this will give the feedback performances, and this will also provide the defaulters, list of the defaulters, and common platform for reporting the equipment's failure will be there, and the ranking of the manufacturers can be there just to for the competitive rates, and centralized procurement performance reporting system will improve the efficiency and reduce the cost. As far as use of artificial intelligence is concerned, there are few points, sir. Automatic requirement generation, automatic information regarding the equipments and availability of in the nearby areas, list of probable suppliers, information regarding lowest recent supply orders, and common ERP and software may be implemented for the ERPs. Similarly, sir, few challenges are there. Just I am completing, sir. Different climatic conditions across the state. This is the one challenge. State-specific requirements which can be addressed. State procurement acts, local acts. For example, in Rajasthan, RTPP is there. Preference of the local vendors, local MSMEs there. Intra-DISCOM and inter-DISCOM disputes resolution, and lack of IT and ERP implementation. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Now I will request our last speaker, Mr. H.C. Sharma, to tell us briefly regarding the nuances of procurement in his organization.
Good evening once again. Actually, the agenda which has been framed and which has been written, like starting from the specification and then comes the price and then the performance. It has to be in the same order. Because first the specification has to be same, then only you can compare the price and performance. So the first, what I feel is that for any procurement, to bring down the cost, two things can be done. One is like we increase the number of bidders, that is from the vendor side, if any margin is there or if any extra margin is there, whether that can be optimized. Another is that if we can internally collate our requirement, we can create the volume for the vendor so that he can further see on his margin to quote for the higher volume. So these are the two things which comes immediately to my mind, that which can be worked upon for the cost optimization. Now when we come to the specification framing, see, specification is not, DISCOM is not only the stakeholder. The stakeholder are the vendors who are going to supply us. And they bring out the latest changes. They bring out so many good things. I'll share one practical example in this, that we all say, maybe some of them, we may be the electrical engineer. We procured that insulation testers, and olden time that insulation tester was a mechanical, used to call it Magger. It used to be driven by hand. Now, off late, that it has come to be driven by the AC supply. Then also some of the utility still continues with that hand-driven specification. So it adds a value, and this can be, and this adds such a huge value, huge price to the procurement. So this we have to include the vendor also while we make the specifications. Now, if we have common specification, what else can be driven? One is the price by volume, by number of people. Another is the timeline. So basic procurement, when we give any order, what starts after that? He will procure the parts of that equipment. And that will start only when we place the order. And suppose we have the uniform specifications for sizable number of utilities, then he will have the running item. And the moment order is given, the manufacturing will start. Otherwise, if you see typically in any schedule which is given for supply of material, The initial 1.5 to 2 months are for procurement of the items which are required for the equipment to be supplied for your purpose. So that is the second thing we can work upon, that if we have the normal common specification, we can work upon the timeline. Third is that very good thing by uniform specification which can come is the existences. The utilities feel actually have the storms, utilities especially in coastal areas, utilities. And when we require the material, those materials are not readily available. Even the other utilities are ready to help with the materials and the services, but those materials are not as per the specification of the material for which the utility which has suffered due to storm or any emergency or any exigency. So this will again help there, that any utility which has suffered can be helped by other utilities or fellow utilities. Spares parts and quality, any other two things which comes into my mind, that if we have the uniform specification, those are the two things where we can optimize on spare part list, and the quality when we are procuring a uniform spec material, probably when it is easy for the vendor also to ensure the good quality of material is coming to him. Now from vendor procurement, vendor point of view, what is there from the uniform specification? Because vendor doesn't have to procure for specific occasions. Like if a RMU is ordered by, say, X utility, it is not that he is procuring the material for that X utility. And if by chance that material is somehow is not lifted by that particular utility, it is not like that material is getting hold up or that RMU is getting hold up. This can be supplied to other utilities also if it is a uniform specification. Third is like testing. The equipment, if we have a different specification, each equipment has to be type tested. At least one equipment has to be type tested. If we have the uniform specification, once the type testing is done, and probably many equipment are there where we can accept those equipments based on one type test done. So probably that would be a win-win situation for the buyer and the supplier both. If we come on employee part on DISCOM, see installations. In fact, I would go a little beyond the uniform specification. In fact, we should have the universalization on some of the items. Like the transformers. See, in Delhi, almost every second year we have to upgrade the transformer, enhance the transformer capacity. At the moment, like some transformers are on the foundation, some are on the pole, some are on the bigger foundation, some are on the smaller foundation. So what we have to have is that universalization of the foundation itself, installation, that where it is sitting. Like same thing is RMU. 4 RMU manufacturers are having different area, different footprint who are supplying. So one RMU, if you take out, other cannot be fixed on the same frame. So the universalization can be to that extent also, that where we can say that if one RMU goes wrong, then we can put the other, or if we have to enhance, we can put the higher capacity equipment there without any other thing to be done to the foundation. Skill and training, definitely, because RMU, etc., when it is operated, it requires a skill. And if it is a universal specification, probably the people who are operating it would be at ease, and it would be more safe going further. One or two things, that's all.
Fast, yeah.
Only one challenge. I have skipped a few of the things, but I would also say that nothing comes without challenge. The one challenge which can come, because see, uniform specification making is already in practice in India. That is by BIS. BIS does a uniform specification, but see the timeline, see the period. At least 2 to 3 years it takes in finalizing one specification. So we have to be more agile on that part of it. And we have to bring in the concept that yes, elephant can dance. So we have to be agile to that extent. And then only all these things would be successful. Price part, I have already discussed on this. I would say few things on performance part, that we measure the quality at the time when we are buying the material. We have to continue to do so for next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So we know that how is the performance, how is the material behaving after installation. So in TPDDL, we have concept of post-commissioning quality checking, where we, after installation of material, every year we go and check the quality of the material, how it is behaving, whether paint has not come out, where there is any leakage or anything. So few things, those can also be adopted. So with that, because time is already less, thank you very much. Thank you for kind listening.
Thank you. We could cover almost all the area, but few things I don't know whether Prashant is still there or not. What comes to my mind is, the request to ISGF and also Raji or Reena, if they are around, or their other colleagues. One, definitely at a southern level under SRPC, in fact, we will take this initiative that some of the procurement, technical side, of course, we are a transmission related thing, we are collaborating and we are having an excellent interaction. But some of the other such themes, especially procurement and all, there also we would like to strengthen our partnership. But at a national level, if it is to be done, then I would request ISGF, or we will also request now, Honorable Power Ministers Conference is going to happen next week. So we will put forward some suggestions out of this conference, what are, we are discussing. So one suggestion in context of procurement is this. Collaboration will definitely take us miles ahead in understanding what all things we need to do. Then second, another thing is, what are the innovations which each of the DISCOMs have done. Our colleague, in fact, he will be here tomorrow from Madhya Pradesh. They have also done a lot of, innovations even in the procurement processes to take things forward. If Prashant may be busy, but if he is online, in fact, we will send a request to CEO JEM that other than the material procurement, whether for our others, essential things such as, we require to, we need to do procurement for, say, ERPs, and if we need to have a very structured, certain very, software. Now, for an example, for smart meter, under RDSS, everything is in bundled, but there is a thought process among many of the CMDs also, that it is always better to have a standalone MDM, which is scalable, so that we will not have a 10 set of MDM and create a life very, very difficult for all the functionaries in the utilities or DISCOMs. So there are a lot of such things which are happening at the DISCOM level. I think with further strong collaboration, one will learn from each other and we will take the right steps to go forward rather than arriving at a conclusion after a few years that we could have done things differently. So thank you very much, even though it is a very, different kind of a subject, but there is, I think, some good audiences here. Take back this message, and my request to all the DISCOMs and other colleagues who are here, that we should try and think that how we can bring in efficiency in the procurement, because it is for the larger good, for achieving all our aims of becoming carbon neutral and then later on net neutral. Thank you very much. We'll close the session here. Thank you.
So please stay back on the stage. Please give them a big round of applause. They've given us more time and really saved a lot of time. Thank you, Rajan sir, for curating it with such promptness. I would like to request Rajan sir to felicitate the speakers on stage. Rajesh Lakhoni, additional, he's not here, I'm sorry. Mr. P.K. Singh, CEO.
We will send it
Across to him onto the screen. Mr. V.K. Srivastav, member UPERC.
We always forgot to take it out.
It has become the custom of the event, and we will do it diligently. Please put your hands together for that. On to Mr. Rajesh Sharma, member RERC. Thank you, sir. And also to our next speaker, Mr. H.C. Sharma, Chief Technical Services, Tata Power DTL. Thank you, sir.
I think you have to come for the group picture. Please come.
Ms. Reena Suriji, please come onto the stage and join our elite speakers for a picture, please. Thank you so much, Rajan sir.